All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and good evening, Tombstoners. That's right. Tonight we've got the one, the only Tombstone Jesus with us on the podcast from the chair with Big Money Exchange. The host is up there in the corner, Mr. Nathan Noss. I am the executive producer who books all these awesome shows, the executive producer with the most. And Nathan can't deny that. I am, of course, Anthony Wagner. So, welcome to our show, Mr. Tombstone, and the floor is yours.
Hey, Nate, Anthony, happy to be here. Honored to be on the show. What can I say, guys? You just booked the best.
Yes, we did. So, um, can you tell us some of your wrestling heroes growing up?
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah, I'm a little bit older. I'm not going to really tell you guys exactly my age. It's the fact that I actually age in badass years. And in badass years, I'm in the prime of my life. I'm just turning about 22 years old. But in mortal years, that's another story. So some of the wrestlers that I enjoyed growing up might be a little bit before your time. But right off the bat, the Macho Man Randy Savage is definitely somebody that I looked up to. Ric Flair, man, you want to see one of the coolest, one of the biggest studs to ever watch the planet. Just dial up some Ric Flair from like 1981, 1982. And that's when I was a little kid looking at the TV going, I want to be like that guy. And, of course, Hulk Hogan. I mean, I remember literally the first time I ever seen Hulk Hogan. We got the AWA coming in on the weekend on Saturday mornings when I was a kid. And 30-minute show, it was like boom, 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 all star wrestling. And the greatest performers from around the world in the AWA, And I watched that show every week as a kid. I lived for that. And the first time I ever saw Hulk Hogan, he just had his back to the camera. And Mean Gene was interviewing him. And you could just see this huge mountain of a man. And Mean Gene looked like this little child. And I'm yelling to my dad. I'm like, Dad, get down here. Got a little black and white TV. My dad comes down. What the hell, And I'm like, look at this guy. And now the Hulk turned around. He's doing his thing. And my dad's like, that's a big guy. And I'm like, how do you get big like that? My dad says, you lift weights. Like barbells? And he says, yep. I said, well, that's what I want for my birthday. So for my birthday, I got my weight set. Next Christmas was a couple more packs, some more weights. And that's what got me started. I was just a little boy looking up to these wrestlers. I loved comic books. And when I saw wrestling, that was the first time I seen living, breathing men that looked like they were superheroes. And it was over for me. I wanted to be a professional wrestler my whole life. And happy to be a part of it now.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, she's going to talk to one of her teammates.
So, you brought up comic books. I know you have a comic book, or were working on a comic book a while ago. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
There's something been in the mix for a while. It's still being worked on as far as the comic book story goes, and it runs deep. But it's about Tombstone Jesus set in comic format. And he lives in a graveyard, and he travels around these little towns all over the world and hits these little wrestling organizations. And there's always two stories going on in every book. One story is Tombstone's wrestling match. The other story is Tombstone killing demons, which is what he does. And it's still in the mix. Hopefully, here soon, something can be available for people. And it will happen, I guarantee it. One time, we got a little bit of comic book art, and our next shirt, I went checked on them. I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is a Tombstone and Sons t-shirt that's going to be available tomorrow when I pick them up. Super excited about that. Super, especially being a comic nerd like I am. While we're talking about merch, I mean, my son, Autobahn Clutch, got some of the sickest hats I've ever seen on a merch table.
That is a sick hat.
They're going fast. They're gorgeous. Tombstone and Sons, Tombstone Jesus, we always want our fans to be able to represent and look good doing it. And I've always prided myself on having good merch for my fans, I mean, you got to put your bumper sticker on your ride, right? Let everybody know what the hell. Okay. Everybody likes a big black t-shirt, but sometimes the ladies like to show off a little. You know what I mean? Something looks a little bit better. And there has been some panties. There's been some panties as well. Got your whitey tidy Tombstone Jesus hat right here. You can represent. And that is crisp. That is crisp. You come to the show, you see my opponent, he's talking a little smack, you just get in his face with this Tombstone Jesus noise maker and tell him where to stick it. Yeah, merch is what we do. Of course, the classic sold maybe close to 5,000 of these.
Nice.
The Tombstone Jesus shirt, Mountain Metal Muscle. If y'all didn't know, I'm a musician as well. I got music and comedy on my YouTube channel. Check it out. Mountain Metal Messiah. That's why they call me that, because I sing and write mountain metal and perform it. So I come out to my own music as well. It's what we do.
Nice.
All right. Well, our co-host is in the chat, and he says he would take one of your hoodies, sir.
What's that?
We have a co-host that's in the chat right now because he's making big money moves, and he wants one of your shirts, but in a hoodie form.
He wants a hoodie.
Yeah.
Huh? We could get some hoodies. It's gonna cost him. Hey, you guys send me money, and I'll send you all this merch. It's that simple, bro. It's that simple.
He's big money done, so I don't think that'll be a problem.
What sizes are we looking at? Because if I got to get like a 5X, something that's going to cover your car, it's going to cost you a little more.
No, not quite a 5X, but
okay.
He wants a 2.
He wants a 2.
We got.
And that's what I would take too. Would be a 2. Tony, what
$30
about you?
plus shipping, brothers. We got you. We got you. You got to get a hat though, and I throw in a bear claw necklace, bro. I'll tell you what, just for you, I will throw in. And these are big money. This is sick. These are drumsticks.
Oh,
look at that.
Nice.
Look at that. Signed by my drummer. Mountain Metal right on there. My wife, the Queen, burned wood on them.
Nice.
Throwing them in with your shirts just because you guys are VIPs.
Awesome.
Oh, very cool.
And Big Money says he wants a black hat.
I got a black hat. Yep.
All right.
We got one for him. Now, well, just remember you're going to need a Tombstone and Son shirt as well. Trust me on this. So you'll see. Get a hold of me. We'll make it happen.
All right. Sounds good. We'll get a hold of you. Tony, do you have a question?
Yes, I do. What are your top 5 tag teams of all time?
Number 1, the Road Warriors. hands down. Number 2, you know, and they were a tag team, but what was original about them is that you never knew who you got, and that was the Freebirds.
Yep.
I like the British Bulldogs.
Ooh.
Definitely a fan of the British Bulldogs. Another good team back in the day was I can't think what they went by, but it was Ricky Steamboat and the Indian guy. I can't think of his name.
Jay Youngblood.
Yeah, there's another one of my favorites from back in the day. So what's that? 4?
Yep.
Yeah. So what was it? The Twin Towers, like Danny Spivey
And Mark Calloway.
Yep. Yeah, I liked it, but there's lots of tag teams. You know, I like the Rockers too, and
Okay.
who was the Midnight Rocker or the Midnight Express? Those guys were great. You know, those guys would get the crowd just going crazy. But yeah, that's probably my
So I
top
will
5.
ask a question for Big Money.
Go ahead, Tony.
Big Money wants to know: have you ever wrestled in Southern California?
Yes. Yeah, I have in Barstow quite a few times. Me and Otto's growing pain match, where we, you know, that was just brutal family therapy at its most painful. I mean, but we had the growing pains match in Barstow, California. It was during the pandemic, so there was no crowd. It was just filmed. And it was 5-minute rounds, and if you lasted the round, it was followed by 2 minutes of therapy where we each got to speak a minute. And it's a hell of a match. It's on YouTube. You guys, if you haven't seen it, look it up. You'll learn a few things about us and yourself.
Very nice. So
yeah, actually, I wrestled in Barstow quite a bit with Destination 6. Going to be doing some more wrestling in California coming up. And yeah, I like California. Otto's done, he's from California, so I think the majority of the wrestling he's done has been in California, but the kid's been everywhere.
So you brought up your band. Can you tell us a little bit about the Tombstone Jesus band?
Yeah, before I was a wrestler, Tombstone Jesus is also the name of my band. And like I said, there's all kinds of music on YouTube if you want to go over there and check it out. We're like Leonard Skinner meets Motorhead. And I write, sing, play all the music. I mean, not all the music, but play bass, play rhythm, do the singing. And we're a badass band. We're like Leonard Skinner meets Motorhead. So before I got the opportunity to wrestle, I was playing all the clubs in Salt Lake City. And that's actually how I got my opportunity. There was a guy there who opened for us who's had a band, and he was one of the best guitarists I'd ever heard, probably one of the best guitarists in the country. And we played, he got up and he threw his hand out and said, "Hey man, I want to be in your band." And I'm like, "You're hired, man." I was pissed at this other guy, and this guy's so good. I'm like, "You got the job." He's all, "One other thing." He says, "I'm a professional wrestler." He was from Georgia. He says, "I wear a mask. Nobody knows that I think you'd be good at it." So that's how I got into the business. That's how I got my opportunity to become a professional wrestler, which had been a dream my whole life. And, you know, that's one of the things. Anybody out there, I don't care if you think you're too old, whatever your excuse is, whatever your dream is, man, go for it, you know. I mean, there came a time in my life when I was young, I really wanted to be a football player. Well, actually, this is how it went for me. I'm like in 5th grade, my teacher's like, "Write down 3 things you want to be." I'm like, pro football player, pro wrestler, rock star, you know. And the teacher's like, these aren't realistic. And I'm like, oh, did you put down teacher when you were a little boy? You know, and I was a little small. And I didn't listen, you know. And so later on in life, I'm foreman and struggling in the world. And I'm looking back, remembering I didn't put construction foreman down when I was in 5th grade. I put pro football player, pro wrestler, and rock star. At the time, I didn't think I'd get a chance to be a pro wrestler. I was too old to play pro football now, but I could still be a rock star. So I started my band up, started doing music. We got pretty big, and then later on, lo and behold, here comes my opportunity. I get a chance to become a professional wrestler. And, you know, even some of my best friends were like, you know, maybe 20 years ago, you know, maybe this isn't the smartest thing to do. Do you have health insurance? You know, I heard it all. And, you know, I went for it. And that was years ago. And I'm still doing what I do, still loving life. And, you know, that's what it's all about. So anybody out there, if there's something you want to do, go for it. That's all I can say.
Amen to that.
Yeah. Tombstoners.
That's
how
right.
we roll.
So, Tony, do you want to read the question from Big Money, or do you want me to?
Okay, yeah, I can do that. Who's the biggest name you've ever wrestled?
Well, I've gotten to wrestle with some pretty good names. I got to wrestle with, tag up with Rhino, which was a big deal for me back in like 2012. Then I got to have quite a few matches with Chris Masters, another great guy. Real big deal for me. Later on, I got to work with Mr. Kennedy, tag with him.
Nice.
Ken Anderson, another great guy, you know, just an honor. Later on, I got to have a match with Sin Bodhi. I've had a match against Glacier. I've got to work with really great wrestlers. And for me, you know, especially Rhino, I mean, I was a huge ECW fan. And when Rhino came into ECW and started just goring the shit out of everybody, it was badass. And, you know, so that was a big deal for me, no doubt. Yeah, I've done some things. I've held some titles. I've wrestled in quite a few states, and I just can't get enough of it, you know. For me, the biggest thing, you know, usually I'm a face, not always, I'm a heel here and there. But, you know, when them little kids come up to you, it's just full circle, because that was me. I'm like, hey, I want to look at that guy. I want to be like that guy. You see these little kids come out to the shows and you take pictures with them. And I got a grandson now, and he's into it. I mean, he's way into it. You know, these guys from Florida, they cut a promo on me, on us, and it fired me up. You know, I got to hand it to them. It was a good promo, and it fired me up. The guy bagged on my name a little and said I got it from a name generator, and of course that pissed me off. And he wants to know why I call myself Tombstone Jesus, you know, and that really bothers him, because, you know, he's like, does he want me? He's like, do you want me to crucify you? You know, and I'm like, oh, crucify me. Yeah, like I've never heard that before. Boring. But anyways,
right? Yes.
same old shit. He's coming at me with this. And it got me fired up, though. It's a good promo. Little hussy there, getting all fussy. I mean, looking forward to taking these people on. But anyways, my grandson's seen it. He calls me up. He thinks he's a crank caller. He's 5. He calls me up. This Tombstone Jesus? I'm like, who's this? He's all, I'm the guy who's gonna execute you. And I'm like, listen here, you son of a bitch, I'm going to grab you by your jaw and knock you so hard it rips your beard right off. And I can hear him giggling. I'm like, wait a minute, who is this? I'll check my caller ID. I'm like, Jackson, you pranking me, you little son of a. And he's, 4 years old, just laughing his ass off. And then he's like, hey, what you gonna do? So I sent him the promo. I came back at this guy with the promo. I told him, you want to talk about a name generator? Well, you just activated a pain generator. And I'm coming for you. As far as my name goes, they call me Tombstone Jesus because when I hit you, you see Jesus, son. And anyways, doing what we do. My grandson sees it, calls me up, and anyways, he's so into it. I'm probably going to be doing this at least for another 15 years, no doubt about it. So, got another fire. Being able to wrestle with my son too. I mean, the kid's one of the toughest son of a bitches on this planet. And he can hang with any wrestler in the world and beat them, except possibly me, of course. But Otto, having him come to my life's been a blessing. It was brutal in the beginning, but we're finally, firing on all pistons, so to speak. Tombstone and Son going a long ways.
Yeah. Well, I've got to say it because he says we've got to say it. So, ladies and gentlemen, and Tombstoner, that was a first.
Yep.
What's that?
Okay.
Our co-host likes to say that was the first every time somebody says something that's never been said before. So
you guys are all Tombstoners now.
That's
He's
right.
Big Money Tombstoner. So welcome to the club.
Yeah, there you go. That's gonna be a shirt one of these days. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, definitely.
Hell yeah.
Make it a shirt.
You know it.
Okay, so let's see here. Next question. Well, why don't we get into a little bit of that story between you and Otto? I mean, it was always. I mean, it didn't start out so good. It started out shaky. Would you like to?
Oh my hell! Let me tell you. So I'm in a match in Salt Lake City, and this kid's in the locker room. I see him, across the way. I'm in like a 5-on-5 match. He's on the other team. He just keeps eyeballing me, and I'm like, what's up with this kid? And I know I got a match with him, and I'm so match is going on. Next thing you know, we're nosing up, and we're getting ready to go to town. We both got in the ring, got tagged in, and he starts looking at me, and I step, and he steps. I step the other way, and he steps, and keeps giving me this weird look. And all of a sudden, he throws his finger out at me and says, "You're my dad." And I'm like, "What the hell?" And he's like, "You're my father. You're my dad." And I'm like, "No, I'm not." And he's like, "Yes, you are." I'm like, "No, I'm not." And we're just beating the shit out of each other. So I ended up pinning the kid in the match. And things go on a little bit later. He comes up to me in the back room, yelling at me, accusing me of this and that, and telling me, I'm his dad and I owe him and his mom a lot of money. And I'm like, holy shit, what's your mom's name? And he tells me it. I'm like, oh, be a little familiar. So I don't think much of it. It's just crazy kids, whatever. A couple months later, I'm in a match, and he comes out and screws it up for me. And now we're outside, and he just confronts me in front of everybody. I'm gonna prove to you in all Salt Lake City, you're my dad. He's like 1989, Los Angeles, California, and he starts naming these dates and places. And I'm like, whoa, like, okay, there could be possibly something to this. I'm like, let's handle this like everything in life should be handled in the ring. you know. So I'm like, look, if you're badass enough to beat me, if you got enough of my DNA to beat me, then I'll take the test. And if not, you know, hit the road, kid, whatever. And so that's what led up to the first ever DNA match next month in Salt Lake City. So he brings a nurse from California to extract my DNA. And we go to town and have this match, and I beat him again. So I figured I'd send him on his way. Next thing I know, his mom comes out of the back with the microphone. Tombstone Jesus, you son of a bitch. Look at that. Look at our baby boy. Look at him. And I'm like, oh shit, I know this woman.
Thank you, Grace.
Thank you.
She gets in the ring and starts beating the shit out of me. I mean, she bloodied up my ear. I'm in the corner. I mean, I'm remembering why things didn't work out real quick. You know? And my wife, she always the queen. She runs the merch, and everybody knows she's my wife. She never comes out with me. She's never a part of the matches. All she does is merch over there and talk with the fans. Well, she sees my ex in there beating the shit out of me, and so she comes and gets in the ring. And next thing you know, the whole place is chanting, Jerry, Jerry, you know, and she's like, hey, bitch. Next thing you know, those two go at it, and they hit the ground. They're ripping each other's hair out. This is on YouTube. You guys can find it and watch it. I'm sitting there going, holy shit. Otto kicks me in the back of the head, and his nurse comes, and they cut a lock of my hair, and they take my DNA, and it comes back positive. So that's how I got to meet my son. And for 2 years, we just beat the shit out of each other, fighting over this back child support, $50,000, this and that. Long story short, we've come together. We're the hottest father and son team in the country right now. The kid hits like a freight train. I hit like a Mack truck. No one knows who hits harder yet. But we got the blood type AK-47 running through our brains, and Tombstone and Sons is pretty much taken over. That's where I'm at right now with my son. So it's been a hell of a roller coaster, but we're riding high now, you guys.
Very nice.
Stroke this car straight.
So Big Money's a manager out of California, and he's got a guy that's like 6'7", named Jimmy Mayhem. And he said he wants you to face Jimmy Mayhem next time you're in, when you guys get a chance.
I'd love to fight him. I'd love to fight him. You bet. Talk to a promoter, line it up. 6'7", that's a little bit taller than me, but not a whole lot. Yeah, I'd love to knock him down. Love it.
There you go,
Let's
Big
make
Money.
it happen, Big Money.
So, top 5 male wrestlers of all time.
Okay. So my favorites, I'm gonna do it as a favorite.
And that works.
If you want to get technical, this might be a different list, but my top all-time favorites for sure. Boom, right off the bat, we got Hogan, we got Ric Flair, we got Macho Man, the Ultimate Warrior. Okay, there's a guy when I was young that really, inspired me to want to lift some weights. Definitely got him up high on the list. And then Stone Cold. Jesus Christ, when he was busting that glass and coming out with the beer truck and shit, I don't think anything's ever been harder. So yeah, that's my list. So But you want to get like technical wrestling skills that could change. Hey, Iron Sheik,
Speaking of big money,
there was a badass
You're
legend
welcome.
right there, on so many levels.
Yes, sir.
yeah,
Shame to see him go.
Now the interview can start. You're welcome.
Is this big money?
that's
Yes,
big
sir.
money. He wants
All
to make an
right.
entrance.
Yeah, dude. Did you see all the merch?
I saw and I'm
I'll get you that hoodie, dude. But trust me, you're gonna want this T-shirt. Imagine it on a shirt. Little patch on the side says Blood Type AK-47.
Ooh, that's big money right there.
I was gonna
That
say
look
the man
good
knows
on
how.
bro.
The man knows his merch.
Oh yeah, Mountain Metal merchandise.
I've been watching. I like the clappers too. I like that idea.
I can't hear you, bro. Hold on. All right, speak up.
I said I like the clappers. Maybe I could use it on my wife.
He said he likes the
can't hear you.
clapper.
Whoa!
So he likes the
Oh
clapper.
hell yeah,
that you
these
had.
noise makers.
Yeah.
Hook you up. I'll throw that in with the shirt, bro. No problem.
We'll
No
be
problem.
doing business,
I wish-
sir.
The main thing I need to get you guys. Hold on.
Am I muted?
No, I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
All right. You got to get yourself a bear claw necklace, okay?
Ooh.
Oh,
It's like mine, all right? See this bear
Oh, wow.
claw necklace? I killed it with my bare hand. Right here, my bare hand.
that's really
Okay.
cool.
This is my left hand, this is my bare hand. The same bare hand smacked a few bare asses.
Isn't this a family show?
Nope.
So you
not
got
anymore.
to get the. I'll tell you what. I'll throw in a bear claw necklace, and I'll throw in a clapper, and I'll throw in.
Oh,
All right, with your double X shirt.
sounds good.
Did you want the hoodie? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. We'll talk on the hoodie later. You might have to get a shirt and a hoodie, big money. I know you can afford it.
I'm on it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. You got a girlfriend?
Well, it might take you.
I got a wife.
He's got
Got
a
a
wife.
wife?
Yeah.
All right, dude. Come on now.
I don't know if Boom will approve of me, buying other people's merch.
I used to sell panties, and they said Tombstone Jesus right on the front, and that way when you peel them off, you can think of me. So they sold out quick.
Wow. Woo. I came in and
Now that's back in the day. I used to come out with the big elk horn that was called Horny, and I'd ask all the ladies in the audience if they were feeling horny or wanted to feel horny and shit. Anyways,
that's awesome.
they asked me to stop doing
I
it.
thought
So I
this
did.
was a family show.
Oh shit!
It
Not
comes
tonight,
and
big
goes.
money. We took.
Yeah, be glad Otto hasn't chimed in yet. But
I watched an interview with him earlier. It wouldn't be a family show if
he does stand up in Vegas as well. That kid's so talented. He's definitely a chip off the old block for sure. And I'll tell you, he's one of the only people on this planet whose temper, the fuse, is just a little bit shorter than mine. So, yeah, he's fun. He's a lot of fun. He's a handful.
No, it kind of seemed that way during the interview, but I loved it. So
Yeah. His energy level, if I could bottle that shit, for real.
you
For
could
real.
sell that for like the next best energy source, man.
The elites would be killing for it. I mean, who knows what would. Yeah.
So
it'd be brutal.
big money. Since you're on, do you want to ask a question?
What's that, bro?
Well,
Oh, I'm gonna let Big Money ask a question.
Let's hear, bro.
Number one,
Fire
I
away.
respect you in the business, sir. Doing amazing things. I heard who you faced. So
He said he heard who. I'm gonna help you hear him because he's a little bit quiet today.
Yeah.
He said he appreciates your time in the business and that he heard who you faced from earlier. So
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Thank you. Thank you, brother.
yes, sir. Yep.
Okay, is this better?
that's better.
Well, I hear you great
That's
now.
better.
I was going to say
You're
that money always
welcome.
talks. Dude, now we can actually hear you. Hell yeah.
Well, much respect. Keep up the amazing work. I've been following you on Instagram since I became a manager. So I've been watching you.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. If I
So
haven't followed you back, I apologize. I'll make sure that I do. I'm pretty
big
sure I
money
do.
dodge. Big money dodge. So
Oh, hell
my
yeah.
question to you, good sir. Your scariest injury in your entire career.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I tell you, I've had so many injuries. I don't know if it was the worst. It definitely wasn't the scariest, but at the time, the untimeliness and the way it went down. I was early in my career. I was fighting this wrestler's name's Legions, and we'd been going at it for a few months. And this match was turning into 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato shoot. Okay. And I'm on top of him, and things are getting out of hand. And I'm coming down at him with some blows, and he blocks my shot, and my finger breaks back and folds back and is pinned backwards on the back of my hand. And this is early in the match. And I get up, and the referee's like, "Woo!" And my opponent's kind of shitting his pants, and I hold my hand up, and the whole crowd just screams, like, just like ignore me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it ain't ending like this. And I grabbed my finger and I twisted it back in place, and I flipped that motherfucker back and laid it in and finished the match. And then after I had a couple wrestlers, one of them come up to me and said, "Hey, show me that finger trick." I'm like, "Give me your finger." So he gives it to me, and I start breaking it. And he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm showing you the trick." He's like, "No, I'm good." But that was a fun one. But I broke both my arms. I broke multiple ribs. Messed up my shoulder. Torn my groin. The finger, of course. God, there's a list of them for sure, and it's all part of it,
Yep.
It really is. Wouldn't trade any of it for the world.
Amen to that one.
So if you had a dream opponent, who would it be and why? No questions asked from any generation.
Oh, wow. Dream opponent. Man, I've never been asked that one. Dude, I would love to have locked up with TA. I really dug Magnum TA. I mean, he had that short career, but that dude, was such a stud. Ric Flair, he had like his hired hussies or whatever, and the Midnight Rockers had all the teeny boppers. But when Magnum TA would come out, the women were damn near fainting. That dude was causing a commotion, and he was a tough son of a bitch. I got to interview him on a podcast. I got to be on a panel like you guys are, and actually got to interview Magnum TA. And
Wow.
that's probably would be my dream opponent, man.
Man, you guys could have a killer match too.
Yeah, well, and he could handle himself, definitely. That would be awesome. close to the same size, and that'd be great. Yeah, he's one of my heroes, no doubt about it. Love to wrestle that dude.
So, Tony, you got a question?
Well, sure I do.
Oh God.
Tonight, tonight the truce is over. Mr.
Okay.
Tombstone Jesus, sir. I've heard you wrestled a lot in Southern California. Do you know a man by the name of Mikey O'Shea?
Say it again.
He wants to know if you know a guy named Mikey O'Shea.
I believe so.
He's doing that more to get to Big Money because Big Money and Mikey O'Shea have a history.
Oh yeah, the name sounds familiar, man. It really does.
Here, his nickname might help you a little bit more. His nickname was the Irish Juggernaut.
Oh, okay. Right on. Well, I've heard of that guy, and no, I'm not familiar with him. But let's talk.
Oh God, I have to bring this up.
Well, you knew you were gonna have to once.
So I guess that means the floor is yours, Big Money. You're welcome, by the way.
I
Let's
got
hear
an
about
itch
this
right
guy,
here.
Big Money. Why are you bringing this up?
Well. I guess I'll bring a story by Big Money Dodge. You're welcome. So, there's this promotion in Orange called Relentless Pro Wrestling, ran by a man that I actually took out of the business as a manager, Billy Bonds. Anyways, not to brag. Come to find out, my member of Big Money Exchange, Jimmy Mayhem, had to face this guy. TikToker. Anyway, so here I am watching this interview, Mikey O'Shea with Rain. And yes, I do follow him on TikTok, a family app. Anyways, so he was saying, I better not get involved. And I am a friendly manager when it comes to helping my guys. So anyways, Mikey and Jimmy were in the ring. Jimmy was laying down in the center of the ring. As a manager, a caring heel manager, I wanted to go help him. So I tried to get in the ring. The stupid zebra, by all means, blocks me from entering the ring. I don't know why. I told him I was just helping him out, giving him air. And then Mikey gets up, comes to me, grabs my $100 shirt, right? And says, I told you not to get involved. As he said that, he turns around. Jimmy's about to deck him. I was getting all excited about this. All of a sudden, somehow he ducks, and my Jimmy Mayhem clobbers me, and I fly about 2 feet off the apron, head first into a chair. Thank God nobody was sitting in that chair.
I was gonna say, what
That
about
would
the
be
chair?
a lawsuit right there. So I was blacked out for a while. Lo and behold, I find out that both of them move up because they were having a first entry of the SoCal Heavyweight Championship Tournament, which is in July. So, knocked out, not knowing what's going on. Jimmy picks me up. I mean, well, he's a big guy. And picks me up and says, we won, Dodge, we won. And all of a sudden, I'm hearing Billy Bonds, a stupid troll. Sorry. He says, both of you move up. Well, as a manager, as a business manager, I didn't like that. So I told Jimmy, go handle your personal stuff. I'll talk to Billy. So I talked to Billy. I said, hey, he's not going to do it. You know, he's not going to do it. He has more personal issues to handle. So we got off. Anyways, the point of the story is Mikey threatened me and put his hands on me before I could ever put my hands on that guy. And he's a big guy, so it's not hard to miss. But anyway, so that's the story. You're welcome.
Well, didn't you forget the part where you sabotaged his interview?
I did not sabotage the interview. Are you talking about how he threatened me in that interview? How he said, "Stop stalking me on TikTok. I know you're watching, Dodge. Blah, blah, blah. And if you get involved, you are going to get it." And, well, I got it, but not from him.
See, but then
From
I don't
Jimmy.
understand what the problem is, because he gave you fair warning.
Because he wouldn't allow me, a manager, to take care of my man that was out cold in the middle of the ring. I was just going to fan him off with my hundreds and walk off. I wasn't going to touch Mikey. I wasn't going to bother the match. I was just making sure he's okay. That was all I was doing.
And you claim you had a $100 shirt. How do we know you didn't buy that off the Dollar Racket, the Goodwill?
Because I could afford more than you and your Wish clothes. All right?
Well, now back to the interview.
You're welcome.
Well, when you get that Tombstone Jesus gear, some bitch better not be trying to rip that off.
Do I
There
have
you go. Now that would
protection?
make sense.
Do I have protection?
Well,
Kinda sounds like
that shit'll make you 20% stronger just when you put it on. But it'll make you 60% braver. So more than likely you'll be able to handle them on your own. But hey, I'll do anything for money. Breaking necks and cashing checks, that's what I do.
Call me.
So Dodge, your wife just let somebody in the room. He's behind you. Oh my God, it's Mikey O'Shea. Watch out!
So
Go ahead, Nate. Go.
let's do another one of the dream scenarios. If you could book one match, no questions asked, who would it be or who would be in it? Why?
Oh, not necessarily me in the match either. Got you.
Or no, you can put yourself in the match. I have no
Okay.
problem with that.
Right on. Let me think about that. Man. We're talking any wrestlers anytime, you know. So, geez. Like, it'd be cool to have superstar Billy Graham, probably the original body guy, Ultimate Warrior, and myself, trios match.
Wow.
I guess against the world, I guess. At that point.
Sign me up for that one.
That'd be killer. No doubt.
Big money, you're up.
I'm always up, I know. So is my money, you know? Anyways.
I'm not touching that one.
Good. Shut up.
No comment.
You just stay a little square that you are, sir. So, anyways.
Mikey
if
O'Shea.
you
Continue.
please allow me to continue.
Big Mac, large Dr. Pepper.
Oh, she owes me a Dr. Pepper too. Let's see. If you could sign with the top 5 promotions, WWE, AEW, New Japan, Ring of Honor, or Impact, which one would it be, and who would be your first dream match?
Oh shit. Well, WWE.
I got him.
You know, WWE for sure, no doubt about it. Man, who'd I like to take right off the bat? That's a tough one, man. It really is.
I got him.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Jeez, dude, I don't know. There's so many guys there it'd be an honor to work with.
Can I just say, I don't know why it is, but I picture you versus Braun Strowman and you going over. Just saying.
So that'd be cool, you know, Braun. I mean, that'd be awesome. That's a mountain of a man right there.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a big Lesnar fan too.
Ooh.
I'm a big MMA fan.
Yep.
Nice.
And, shit, I'd probably want to fight Brock.
Ooh, all right.
See, I was kind of thinking like Tombstone Jesus versus JBL in his prime in a bull rope match.
That'd be bloody. That'd be brutal. That would be brutal. JBL, yeah, that'd be a rough night for him.
But it'd be big money.
Yep.
Oh hell yeah.
So Vince,
Yeah.
book this
Well, I'd
guy.
like to take it one more and do the brawl for all against JBL.
Ooh. Yeah, please.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Fuck a match.
Yeah, let's just take it down to bare knuckles and see what happens.
Yeah,
It's
go
a friendly
MMA style. I mean,
match.
the brawl for all was awesome. I love that shit. Who was it? Tommy Gunn who knocked everybody
Bart
out.
Gunn won that.
Bart Gunn, yeah, that was badass, man. That dude had a laugh. And then Butterbean ended it.
Butterbean just put him out, man.
I love that whole thing when it went down. I did. I loved that whole brawl for all. That's what they called it. Yeah, that was great. JBL though, you bet. That dude plays rough.
So Tony, you're up.
Okay, well, the final question that I have for you, sir, is who is the better wrestler turned actor?
Oh wow, you know, gotta be The Rock. I mean, jeez, that dude. He's like the next Arnold. I mean, insane. John Cena's killing it. You know, Hulk Hogan did what he did. I'm saying he's a great actor by any means. One of my all-time favorite movies is They Live with Roddy Piper.
Yes.
Wow.
But you know, yeah, I think The Rock outdone everybody. But,
You know,
what do you guys think?
well, I was gonna say, and some people might say okay, but I was gonna say that if there's any like directors out there, you should cast Tombstone Jesus in like a biker fighting movie where he could go into like some bars and just beat the crap
The
out of
next
people.
Mayans.
Absolutely. Yeah, any type of biker badass role. I'd grow my beard out and be a barbarian or a Viking, and I could be a badass cowboy too. But really, it'd just be a reality show. Just follow me around all day. Pretty much what you described is what happened.
Hey, I'd watch it.
My final question. Everybody sit and calm down.
Mikey O'Shea.
Where?
Just ignore that comment and keep going.
I'm already hearing voices in my head, like Randy Orton taught me. So, where can we find Tombstone Jesus? What social media? And where is your next match, good sir?
Great question, brother. Great question. So, Tombstone Jesus on Instagram, Tombstone Jesus on Facebook. Got a public page there. It's a pain in the ass, but definitely go like it. And then YouTube, I've been on YouTube for years now, and there's wrestling. I mean, I got matches all over, but if you go to my channel, Tombstone Jesus, you're going to see some of my comedy. You're going to see a lot of my music and all kinds of Tombstone Jesus shit. Definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm on there every now and again. I actually trended a couple years ago on Twitter. It was kind of a big deal. But
Nice.
you can follow me there as well. And all this merch is available to anybody in the country. You can message me on any one of those platforms, and we'll get it sent out to you.
Sounds good.
Wait, now my next match coming up is on the 10th. It's in South Jordan, Utah, and me and Otto are against. It's a trios match. We're not sure what's going on with our third partner right now, and we are taking on 2 wrestlers from Florida and a wrestler from Colorado. So Lilith Grimm, and then the modern day executioner. That's the guy I was telling you about who was talking shit on me. His name's Salazar de la Muerte, and this little hussy was acting all fussy. She's the Sixth Sense, LeBron Escobar, I believe is how she pronounces her name. And these guys, they're going to be a handful about it. All jokes aside, they cut a hell of a promo. They're good at talking shit. We'll see how good they are at getting hit come Saturday. And Lilith Grimm, you guys know all about her, so we'll have one eye on her all night long. Basically. So that's STF Pro Wrestling, South Jordan, Utah. Doors open at 5. I believe the bell call is at 5:30. Come on out, Tombstoners. We got all the merch there, and I'll be there signing it and taking pictures all night.
Sounds good.
I'm jealous of those arms. I
know, right?
They're the
All
guns,
right.
brother. They're the guns. Yeah, we got the whole.
You got the gut
Damn.
too. See that?
All right. So before we close, I'd like to thank.
There we go.
Before we close, I'd like to thank Tombstone Jesus for joining us tonight. For our host Nathan, for our co-host Mikey.
Dude, thanks for having me.
Yep.
But before we close, I'd like, as much as I take on Big Money, I gotta give him the love. Please come and support his Big Money Compound, his first ever online classes for his trainings. Find out Big Money Compound.
Hold on, time out.
We are extending due to the fact that we're having issues. So starting in July, first classes in July, online classes. Go ahead and continue with the sponsor.
Well, okay. So that'll be Big Money Compound starting in July now instead of June. I am so sorry, July now. As much as I pitch him shit, he is a great guy. Come support the school, even if you've been wrestling for 20 years. You just want to refresh your course. $25 a session, $150.
And it's online. You don't need to go to the gym. You just listen in, refresh your mind. And for the newcomers, if this is what you want to do, this is what it's going to take. By the time we get that ring in that building down this hill, you will already know what you will be expected of.
Yep.
All the rolls, all the bumps, all the run, all that. So this is my way of getting kids, females, any gender, any disability. It doesn't matter. If you're in a wheelchair, if you're blind, if anything, you believe you want to do this, come. We welcome you with open arms and chairs, but
Okay.
And
Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier, man. Go for it.
Okay.
yep.
So we've got to kind of wrap this. So again, Big Money Compound, July. First trainer, I believe, is still SoCal Crazy.
Yep.
So he'll be the trainer on the very first show. Nathan, I know you want to do the sponsors, but thank you, Becky Bernhardt, with the care program, and thank you, Brisbane. You can find him on Angie. Until next time, for Nathan and Big Money Dodge and Tombstone Jesus, again, sir, thank you for joining us.
Thank
I'm
you.
Anthony. Nathan, you've got just about 20 minutes for the interview tonight. That's what everybody interviews tonight.
Yep.
So why don't you get your fleet up and get yourself spaded or neutered, and we'll catch you around the corner. Good night, Tombstoners.
Stay tuned,
Good night.
Tombstone. We'll see you next
Yep.
time.
All right.